And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, "Who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof?" Our word loose in Revelation 5:2 is used 42 times in the King James New Testament, which appears to agree with our 42 months in Revelation 11:2 and 13:5. For this reason, I see open as the action of judgment or arbitration, and loose as judgment being rendered. Before anyone can render fair judgment, they must first be able to understand without bias. This stays in keeping with John 5:22, where we read, "For the Father judges no one, but has committed all judgment to the Son." Keep in mind that God's judgment is God's discipline, and always for our benefit. Now let's consider the following passages regarding the fifth seal. When he opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of those who had been slain for the word of God and for the witness they had borne. They cried out with a loud voice, "O sovereign Lord, holy and true, how long before you will judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth?" Then they were each given a white robe and told to rest a little longer until the number of their fellow servants and their brothers should be complete, who were to be killed as they themselves had been. The spiritual meaning of 5 is grace. So in the fifth seal, we discover the purpose for the opening and loosing of the seals, which is the judgment and vindication of the blood of the souls under the altar, tempered by this grace. As we learned in part 9 of this series, the blood denotes the sacrifice of those who were slain for the word of God and for the witness they had borne. Blood is the sign and seal of the new covenant in Christ. The souls in the fifth seal are given a white robe, correlating with the Lord's promise in Revelation 3, 4, and 5, and with Revelation 19:8 and the fine linen, clean and white, which is the righteousness of saints. The fine linen is also seen in Revelation 19:14, and righteousness is emphasized in Isaiah 11:4 and 5. Judgment aligns with the central or main branch of the lampstand, which is shown denotes the seventh Spirit of God, the Spirit of righteous judgment, described by Isaiah 11, verses 4 and 5. This is manifestation. And since this is the branch to which all the others connect, it sums up the Lord's purpose and correlates with what Peter wrote in the following. For it is time for judgment to begin with the household of God. And if it begins with us first, what will be the outcome for those who do not obey the gospel of God? Regarding the cry of the souls under the altar, the Lord tells them to rest a little longer until the number of their fellow servants and their brothers should be complete, who were to be killed as they themselves had been. With number in mind, note what John says in the following. And I heard the number of those who were sealed, 144,000, sealed from every tribe of the sons of Israel. What did John hear? The number of those who were sealed, aligning with the number of fellow servants and brothers who were to be killed as they themselves had been. What is this number? It's 144,000. Is this a literal number? I don't believe so. For this number is 12 times 12 times 1,000, where 2 is the number of witness, 12 is the number of divine government, and 1,000 denotes a day, a manifestation of God's wisdom through Christ. It is not until this number is complete that the Lord begins to judge and vindicate his servants, which is why John sees 4 angels holding back the 4 winds of the earth until the servants of God are sealed. Our phrase holding back in Revelation 7:1 correlates with refrain, and the little while longer in the fifth seal. The 4 angels and winds denote judgment. How do we know? Because it's given them to hurt or harm the earth and sea and trees once the servants are sealed. So, in Revelation 7, they are held back. But when we arrive at the 6th trumpet, we read, "Loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, and a day, or time, and a month, and a year, or season, for to slay the 3rd part of men. Simple logic dictates that the earth, sea, and trees are not literal, for judgment has nothing to do with these natural elements. The earth points to the beast, which rises out of it in Revelation 13:11, while the sea points to the beast, which rises out of it in Revelation 13:1. The earth denotes the essence of the mind, while the sea denotes the essence of the heart. In other words, our thoughts and intentions. These are synonymous with the king and queen of Babylon. And the trees? These are defined by the following. Even now, the axe is laid to the root of the trees. Every tree, therefore, that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Are the 4 angels in Revelation 9 the same angels in Revelation 7? I believe they are, and they are not 4-winged beings, but rather indicative of the 4 foundational spirits of God, out of which flows his knowledge and fear as exemplified by his judgment. Hebrews 1:7 states that he makes his angels winds, so when the 4 angels are loosed, so too the winds. Loosed signifies action. Our phrase "little while" in Revelation 6:11 appears to connect with Revelation 23, where Satan is released after the 1,000 years are fulfilled. Our word "fulfilled" in this verse is the same word translated as "finished" in Revelation 25 and rendered are "expired" in Revelation 27. Strong's defines it as to end or complete, agreeing with the 5th seal and the promise for judgment once this number is reached. In the 5th seal, John sees under the altar the souls of those who had been slain for the word of God and for the witness they had borne. In Revelation 24, those on thrones are the souls of those who had been beheaded for the testimony of Jesus and for the word of God. Who had been slain and who had been beheaded tells us that the souls in the 5th seal are the same souls with Christ in Revelation 20, agreeing with the following promise to the 7th church. He who overcomes, I will grant to him to sit down with me on my throne, as I also overcame and sat down with my Father on his throne. Who are these souls in the 5th seal? In a word, they are the faithful. In the next video, we will continue our examination of the 5th seal.